Coach Vic, what are you doing?
I'm saving hands.
What are you doing?
I have all my stuff in here. Just don't make fun of me. Why are you doing that to me? I just carry anything I want.
What are you talking about? I don't understand what are your accusations?
You're making me nervous now.
Why are you dropping your water bottle on the ground, Coach Vic?
You're making me nervous now. I haven't been on
camera. Are you taking a dog with you?
No, she's just keeping me company.
Hello friends, Coach Bob with you, and today, me and Coach Vic gonna go for a ride. First cool day of the year. Why are your sunglasses off? Why are you squinting like that?
Sun's in my eyes. We go before it gets cold.
It ain't gonna get cold.
The sun's up before the sun starts going down.
Sun's out, guns out. We're in a short sleeve tank top.
No, well I would love to do that, but it's gonna be chilly outside. So
we're gonna go for a little short Can-Am ride today. We're gonna talk a little bit about what it's like to own a Can-Am Spyder.
Oh.
Do we have buyer's remorse? Do we?
No.
Well, you just ruined the whole video. Now they know.
No buyer's remorse. We love every minute of it.
Okay.
It's affordable. It's fun.
Okay, the end. Video's over.
It's if you're walking, it's easy to get on and off of. It's easy to balance on. It's comfortable, and you look cool on it, and people stop you all the time and ask you what cool machine is that.
All right, well there you have it.
Benefits right there.
Thanks for watching. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more right after this.
All right.
You ready to ride?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Oh, and Opal can go on it too, and your little doggy can go for rides. Oh my gosh.
Having a hard time getting your jacket on, Coach Vic?
Here I am, back in the claustrophobic stuff.
Well, it is a beautiful sunny day in October in Tallahassee, Florida. And I'm going to tell you this time of year, it is wonderful to live where I live. The temperature, absolutely perfect. The sky, beautifully clear. The air, crisp and cool. It just could not be a better ride. You know, I live for these kinds of rides, and the times that Coach Vic and I have together, it really is just an amazing thing. But I had a request to do a video here recently, and when I read these requests, I do take them quite seriously. It's from a subscriber. I'm going to put it right up here on the screen. Goes by, his screen name is James P. It says, "Great talk, Coach Bob. I really enjoy listening to you and thinking about what you're saying. I have a request. Could you do a video like this talking about the Spyder and how it feels to own one? I want a Spyder RT, and I want her to feel comfortable with my choice. I love to explore, and I want her to be a part of it. Thanks for all of the excellent videos." So James, I am going to address that today, and we're going to talk about what it feels like to own it. One of the things I do want to say before we even get going is this. The her in your life is like the her in my life. Coach Vic was never interested, really to a large extent, in ever riding on a motorcycle of any kind. You know, Coach Vic being paralyzed, she is a little out of the ordinary mainstream for most women when it comes to physicality. But I also want to say this, she is absolutely 100% normal emotionally. And I know that a lot of wives don't like riding with their husbands, and they don't like motorcycles generally speaking. But today, Coach Vic asked me to go for a ride. I did not ask her to go for a ride. So with that being said, I just want you to know, as you've grabbed your wife, hopefully already, you got her in the room with you, and you got you a good cup of coffee, and know that Coach Vic, the woman in my life, asked me to go for a ride today. So with that being said, I do want to ask everyone to like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. I would greatly appreciate it. So without further ado, let's talk about what it feels like to own a Can-Am Spyder. Well, the first thing I want you to know is when we start talking about how you feel about something, I want you to have a little bit of an idea of where I'm coming from. First off, I'm a motorcycle guy, and I've been a motorcycle guy most of my life. And the one thing, as you've seen in other videos, if you have gone way back and watched some of the early ones, is I swore I would never, ever ride a Can-Am Spyder. I thought they were horribly ugly. I thought they looked like a big giant vacuum cleaner. What is it they call that machine that they use to shave the ice or make the ice slick, you know, for you hockey fans? Now I'm a Florida boy, so I don't know much about that. But you can put the name of that machine down below, and I kind of felt like that's what the Can-Am Spyder looked like. And I swore I said, I will never ride one of those monstrosities. I have ridden everything from dirt bikes, sport bikes, touring bikes, mini bikes, you name it, I've ridden it, and I love them all. But trikes did not interest me at all. So I decided I was going to pick me up a sport tour to go to California. Coach Vic quickly said, I will not ride with you on a two-wheeler anymore. I do not feel safe. I do not feel comfortable. And she had not ridden with me in years, probably a decade. So there it is. So we went out, we looked at a Spyder, and we rode one together. She was immediately sold. She felt so comfortable on it. She was excited, almost like a kid excited. I was a little less than enthusiastic about it. I didn't buy that one. And I continued to shop, because if you've watched this channel for very long, you also know that I'm kind of thrifty, aka cheap. So I found a really good deal on a Can-Am Spyder RT here locally, and the dealer here made me a great deal. We're going to talk about that in another episode, about how to shop and how to find that best deal, but that's for another time. But anyway, I found a deal. I got this darn thing, and on the ride home was when I really had the feelings that we're going to talk about now. The beginnings of this weird, bizarre relationship between me and this somewhat awkward machine. You know, on the way home, it started to rain. Now, being a motorcycle guy, I'm used to riding in the rain, and it doesn't scare me. The first thing I noticed, because I was in town, was how solid a footprint it had on that early wet pavement. And anyone who's ever ridden a motorcycle, they know what I'm talking about. When it first starts to rain, that oil comes up to the surface of the road, and the road can become very slick. And going around curves, we'll just say, you know, my head is bald, but if it wasn't, it would be all curly, because I'm going to tell you, because it'll curl you up, man. It'll get scary when you come flying around those curves on that slick pavement. But the footing on the Spyder was very confidence building. And the next thing, I noticed something that I had not noticed in years of riding. People were looking at me. Now, not because I felt like I was the center of attention, because as a geezer and a boomer, as my kids call me, I am not the center of attention. In fact, I am the antithesis of the center of attention. But for some reason, others were enamored with this odd machine that I was on. On the way home, I stopped and I put gas in it. And two people came up to me and talked to me about what it looked like, asked me how it rode. And I was like, man, people really are interested in this machine. When I grabbed the highway in the last stretch of the road to my home, I was doing 60 miles an hour. The rain was coming down pretty good at that point. And I felt confident. And I had never ridden this machine. I knew at that moment that it was going to be a special relationship with me in this ride. I didn't know how special. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew it was going to be something cool. And cool it has been. In fact, cool is just a huge understatement of what this machine has become to me. This has truly become my go-to ride. I am a sport bike guy, fellas. I want to ride fast. I want to carve canyons. I want to do those things. Truth be known, I don't have the skills I once had. It's painful to admit those things, but it's true nonetheless. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to go out and push my current envelope. I just can't push the envelope of 35 years old or 45 years old or 55 years old. So what does that mean when it comes to the Spyder? You know, this road that we're on right now is called White House Road. And no, I did not take it because of the upcoming election. I took this road for a reason. This road has some super tight turns on it. And I love riding my Triumph Speed Triple on this road. But I love touring on this road with the Can-Am Spyder. So it is very often when I need a day to unwind. I know what you're saying. Well, Coach Bob, you're retired. You have no stress in your life. I do have a little bit of stress here and there. We'll just say that. Just a spot. And I love to get on the Spyder and just go for a ride and find some nice winding roads that I can twist up and down those roads on the Spyder. And I want to do the tail of the dragon. I want to do the back of the dragon. I want to do those things on a Spyder. I never imagined I would want to do it on a Spyder, but I do. So I want you to know, performance-wise, the machine does perform, and it performs well. The designers did a good job on this thing, and it does way more than I ever expected it to do. So the feelings on the performance side of it, I want you to know you're not going to be disappointed. Even if you're a motorcycle guy, you're not going to be disappointed. So let's talk a little bit about the financial side of the Spyder. That was actually one of my fears. We'll just say it's a product from another country. And a lot of times when you look at things like that, unless it's from the Big Four, and for those not in the know, the Big Four is Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki, and Honda. Not necessarily in that order. But the Big Four parts are readily accessible anywhere you go. But anything outside of America, apart from the Big Four, parts are going to be more expensive and they're not going to be as readily available. And that was a little disconcerting to me. I already ride a European motorcycle that is a nightmare to get parts for. So I just didn't want another headache. I will say that the financial burdens that this machine has cast in my direction have been absolutely de minimis. They do not exist. It has been a rock solid performer. The only parts that I've had to put on there are parts that I wear out, like tires, oil filter, air filter, those sorts of things. But the machine itself has been rock solid for me. So the financial woes that some may say, they just haven't been there. Again, I'll be talking about the cost of ownership, what I paid, how I got a good deal, and what you can do to get the best deal. That'll be coming out probably next week sometime. So we talked about a little bit about the financial side. Let's talk about the emotional side, because that's the side I think that most people really can relate to. Because riding a motorcycle, whether you know it or not, is an emotional experience. And if you can get your wife emotionally attached to this experience, then man, is it special. Because the unintended consequences of getting her on the back of a motorcycle and her going with you, that type of relationship building, I can guarantee you, there is no counselor as cheap as a Can-Am Spyder. You know, emotionally, when I get on this thing, it is liberating. I don't use that word lightly. I do use it in the absolute sincerest form of the word. I am free. I don't have to stress over controlling, leaning, pushing myself, working my body to that level that I do when I get on a motorcycle. It is a different experience. It shares a lot of common things with motorcycling. But let me tell you, for anyone who is afraid of motorcycling or has had a bad experience on the back of a motorcycle, riding on a Can-Am Spyder, I want you to take all of those fears, throw them as far as you can into the deepest chasm of the ocean and go, I want to try something new. And that's what this is going to be. You're going to feel like a kid again. You're not going to be afraid. It feels wonderful. There is yet another aspect, and one that I did not see coming. You know, honestly, I think about finances and performance every time I think about a motorcycle. Those are the first two things on my mind, and probably in that order. And of course, I do think about the emotional attachment, because I am an emotional guy when it comes to motorcycles. I literally go out into the garage with a cup of coffee and just sit there and look at them. Yes, I do that. Coach Vic thinks I'm a crazy person, but I am attached to these machines and I love them. And I look for every little flaw. In an episode that I'll drop a little tag or card up here in the top of this video, where I put a small scratch on it. I came unglued because I really do care about my machine. It's almost like a kid to me. I know that's terrible to say, but it's true. But here's the one thing that I never saw coming. It's the social aspect of it. Now, I am an extroverted type of person in the sense that I'm not shy. But I'm an introverted type of person when it comes to reality. Coach Vic often tells me, she goes, "You're the most extroverted introvert I've ever met in my life." And what she means by that, I am very comfortable going days on end without any social interaction. I can ride a motorcycle alone. I could sail for months by myself. I can sit in my office and make videos and work for hours on end all by myself. And I'm absolutely happy. But one thing that this machine has done, and it's done for me, not to me, it's put me in more social situations. And I have enjoyed that more than I ever could have possibly imagined. Because the people that are riding Spyders are very unassuming people. They're not aggressive and in your face. There's no preconceived idea of what you should be or what you shouldn't be when you get on or off of your Spyder. You're just a Spyder rider. You don't have to put on a special jacket. You don't have to have a scowl on your face. You can smile. You can enjoy your day. And that is something that I didn't see coming. And I've met people from all walks of life, all ages, all races, all ethnicities, all financial dispositions. I have met people from every walk of life, and they have all been absolutely beautiful, wonderful, loving, and kind. And it has been quite humbling to see that this channel, the way it grows, because it's not my superior personality or my great, skills of speaking and that sort of thing. The Can-Am Spyder, it really does bring people together in kind of a weird way. And it is an awesome thing. And that's why I'm here talking to you right now. This machine, if this machine did not exist in my life, you would have no idea who Coach Bob was. You wouldn't be here listening to this, and you wouldn't be considering purchasing something like this or reveling in the fact that you already have bought one. So socially, it has been a blessing in my life that has benefited me beyond all measure. Now, speaking of social, if you would take a moment and subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with your friends, and ring that notification bell, I would appreciate it. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to take a little break from the dialogue here, and we're just going to ride right down here to Lake Mikasooki and check out this beautiful view. So often we'll just simply grab a couple of cups of coffee. We'll make them in our Keurig. We'll mix the creamer and the sweetener and all of that and slap them in a little thermos, and we'll just ride right down here, and we'll sit out on the Spyder and just look at the water. So just enjoy a few minutes like this, because if you do go out and buy a Spyder, these are the kinds of things you need to force yourself to do when you're having those days, when you're stressed out with all of the craziness and the nonsense, as I call it, the COVID crazy, and you can just hop on this thing, go for a ride with your better half, and enjoy the moment just for a moment. You know, I hope that you have stuck around this long. And the reason that I hope that not only is to get my time up, which really isn't the reason, it's because of the last reason of why this machine is so special and why I think you should get one. And I'm not saying that I'm a sales guy, because I'm not. If you don't go out and buy one, it doesn't cost me a dime. And if you do go out and buy one, I don't make a dime. So it's not like that. Here it is. The main reason I love riding a Can-Am Spyder. It magnifies. Now let me tell you what I mean by that. I want you to know I put a lot of thought into this. This machine magnifies. Virtually every motorcycle that I ride has a personality of its own. And that personality that motorcycle has, it brings those traits out in you. Some motorcycles are more aggressive, they make you more aggressive. Some are tougher and harder and more cool, and they make you behave in a more tough and hard, cool way. And that's what they do. That's what they're designed to do, and that's what brands do. But something that I've learned that I need, and especially as I've gotten more mature, and I don't mean old, because you know, I could have used this really a lot. In my mid-30s, when I was going through the trials and tribulations after my wife died, this would have been such a blessing to me. So when I say it magnifies, here's what I mean. It magnifies everything positive. It brings out the peace, the patience, the joy, the goodness. Those things, it diffuses life and magnifies your happiness. I have ridden no machines that have that impact on me, and this is the only one. So if you are feeling good, it makes you feel better. If you're feeling happy, it makes you feel happier. And this is the other thing that it does. It diminishes. It diminishes things that are bad. When you're feeling bad, it shrinks those things up. They go away. When you're feeling sad, when you're feeling angry, those things just evaporate into the happiness of riding this strange three-wheeled machine. So there you have it, my friends. The feelings of owning a Can-Am Spyder. The fears, hopefully I've squelched some of them, and I've maybe planted a seed of thought of whether you should buy one of these things or not. Whether you should or not is entirely up to you. But all I can say is until next time, what I do want you to do, whether it's a Spyder or otherwise, I want you to go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember this. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I hope to see you on the road real soon.